Economics professor Richard Wolff is here. He is professor emeritus of economics at the University of Massachusetts, my alma mater, and he's my former macroeconomics professor. Professor Wolff, I want to talk a little bit about gas prices. We've been seeing lately, actually, one of the three talking points for Republicans to criticize President Obama is talk about high gas prices. I guess the first question that makes sense to ask is, can a president really be blamed or praised for the day-to-day changes in gas prices?
No, most of the time the president neither has the power nor is it a priority for a president to muck around with gasoline prices. Mostly he couldn't do it even if he wanted to, but given the crises that beset this president at this time, to take seriously the proposition that he is responsible for the gas prices is a bit of a joke. If I could say something about it, the truth of the matter lies actually more in the hands of the Republicans than the Democrats, although there are plenty of Democrats who share it. Here's the problem. Anybody who is in the business of depending on imported oil, which is virtually the entire advanced industrial world, including the United States, Europe, Japan, China, and so on, they have to be very, very concerned with anything that might threaten to interrupt the flow of oil that they depend on from around the world in general and from the Middle East, the richest source of oil still in the world in particular. What has been going on the last few months to jack up the price of oil is therefore clear. There is an actual danger, not economic, not technological, but political, that there might be an interruption of the flow of oil from the second most important source of oil on this planet, which is namely the country of Iran. And the reason for that is the war drums being beaten particularly by Israel, but secondarily by Saudi Arabia, and a little bit here in the United States, particularly by the more conservative pro-Israeli types on the Republican and Democratic side, who keep talking about first strikes on Iran and so forth. And the Iranians have countered very cleverly by saying any attack on them, they will close the Straits of Hormuz. That's an area in that part of the world through which ships have to flow. And you could then see militarily an interruption in oil supplies. When that threatens, every buyer of oil in the United States and out starts stocking up on oil, the demand goes up goes the price, and that's the major reason we're seeing $5 a gallon at American gas pumps.
Talk a little bit about that when we look at that cycle, right, which is that the price of a barrel of oil changes, and then much further down the actual production line is the kind of end user price of gasoline. I mean, you're going through refining, shipping, and a number of other things. And one question I'm getting a lot from our audience is, why is it that within a day of a change in the price of a barrel of oil, you already see the gas station, which presumably is still selling gasoline they've obtained a few days prior at those rates, already increasing the price? Is it talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's a mixture of what your callers and your questioners suspect, and also the normal market reaction. You know, we live in a society in which we're told all the time that markets are engines of efficiency. In some ways they are, but they are just as much engines of inefficiency. The minute people who have oil now can reasonably say to their buyers, you're going to pay a lot more in the future, they can also say to that buyer, in fact, I now have an incentive, me, the guy who owns the oil, who's holding it, I have an incentive not to sell it to you now, because by simply holding it, I know I can get more for it later, and that would be my more profitable move in the market. Therefore, the buyer says, okay, I understand that. I play the market too. So here's what I'll do. I'll give you more money right now for the oil you have than you charged me last week or even yesterday. Just don't charge me as much as you speculate it may be rising to in the future. Well, when you play that kind of game, the price takes off as fast as people who are buyers think they're facing a dangerous situation in the future, and the sellers start to take advantage of that expectation. It's literally built in to how markets work.
Fascinating stuff. Professor Richard Wolff, Professor Emeritus of Economics at the University of Massachusetts. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, David, and the same here. I'd be glad to talk to you again in the future.